Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome back to the third part of our India Tour series explainer. If you're a first-time visitor trying to kind of wrap your head around this incredibly vast and culturally rich nation, well, this is exactly where you want to be. Today, we're charting a path through three absolutely incredible destinations that really just capture the sheer soul of India. To truly understand India as a traveler, you really have to look at the massive, massive contrasts in its landscapes and its histories. We're about to explore this fascinating geographic triptych, basically moving from the north all the way down to the south. We'll be looking at how awe-inspiring architecture, deeply rooted spirituality, and these ancient, ancient trade routes have completely shaped the nation's identity. Section 1. The marble masterpiece, the Taj Mahal. Commissioned back in 1632 by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan, this isn't just some beautiful monument. It's actually a mausoleum born out of his profound grief for his beloved wife, Mumtaz Mahal, who passed away during the birth of their 14th child. Now, what's really interesting about this is the sheer, mind-boggling scale of the human effort involved. I mean, just think about it. It took 22 years of continuous, grueling labor and the dedicated expertise of 20,000 craftsmen. Literally, we are talking about entire generations of artisans dedicating their lives to this single, unified vision. It's just incredible. And it's not just big, it's incredibly smart. Those four towering minarets surrounding the central dome, they actually lean slightly outward for earthquake safety. So in the event of a seismic shock, they're literally designed to fall away from the building, protecting the resting place inside. Add in those meticulous Persian paradise gardens divided by water channels and the intricate inlays of precious stones brought in from the Middle East and all across Asia, and you really just have absolute architectural perfection. If you were planning a visit, timing is absolutely everything. That white marble acts almost like a giant canvas for the sky. So at dawn, it captures that early morning light and transforms into these soft shades of pink and gold. During peak daytime, it radiates this blinding, brilliant white. But then, as the sun sets, you get to witness this spectacular transition, passing from white back to pink, and then deepening into these really rich shades of orange and purple. It's stunning. Section 2. The Sacred Ghats, Varanasi. Let's transition geographically now and kind of slower pacing down a bit as we arrive at the spiritual heart of the Ganga River. This is actually one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the entire world. Central to understanding Varanasi are the Ghats. There are approximately 84 of these massive staircases leading directly down toward the river's edge, and each one serves a distinctly different religious or practical function. For Hindus, the ultimate goal is spiritual liberation, and to die here means breaking that eternal cycle of reincarnations. So, despite the constant activity, it is truly a place of profound peace. For a first-time visitor wanting to observe local customs respectfully, you'll witness this really powerful juxtaposition of rituals depending on what time of day it is. At dawn, pilgrims wade into the sacred waters for ritual purification. But then, when evening falls, the energy shifts so dramatically during the Arti worship ceremony. Thousands of oil lamps are offered to deities, and they literally dance on the water's surface. And right alongside all of this, funeral pyres burn continuously to cremate the deceased, with their ashes eventually being scattered into the river. Section 3. The Malabar Coast, Kerala. Let's move to and see how this builds as we travel all the way down south. We're essentially trading sacred rivers for the dynamic, lush ecosystems of the Spice Coast. It's this pulsing life force that's deeply, deeply rooted in ancient global commerce. Kerala boasts this incredible system of interconnected lagoons and canals, extending for an astonishing 900 kilometers. That's about 560 miles. It's such a fascinating tidal environment. The fresh water flowing from the inland rivers perfectly mixes with the salty Arabian Sea. This creates a beautifully fertile ecosystem where coconut palms and historic spice plantations just absolutely thrive right next to each other. And hey, if you want a great tip for navigating these extensive canals, definitely look out for the traditional houseboats called ketovelum. Historically, these really beautiful thatched vessels were these hard-working cargo boats used to transport tons and tons of locally grown rice. But today, they've evolved to provide an incredibly reliable, relaxing, and honestly just immersive transport option for visitors exploring the waters. As you drift through these waters, you are literally floating through history. The Malabar Coast was actually the main world center of the spice trade for centuries. I mean, empires literally rose and fell trying to control these exact goods. And even today, coastal farmers are still out there cultivating those iconic spices. We're talking black pepper, cardamom, cloves, turmeric, along with those sprawling estates of tea. And this brilliantly illustrates just how deep those global connections really run. Think about the famous Chinese fishing nets, these enormous cantilevered structures that were installed way back in the 14th century. They still rise and fall with the coastal tides today. They basically stand as these silent witnesses to the ancient commercial exchanges that connected this very Indian coastline to the absolute furthest reaches of the globe. So, we've journeyed from a marble masterpiece forged in 17th century Greece to the timeless spiritual staircases of the Ganga, all the way down to a coastal ecosystem shaped by centuries of the global spice trade. Which really leaves us with this final thought. How do these ancient monuments, sacred rivers, and historic spice routes continue to live and breathe in modern India today? Because they aren't just relics, right? They are active, thriving parts of the nation's daily life. Keep that question in mind and be sure to stay tuned for the next part of our explainer tour.